like the head dude said, he's like, we will cripple you. We get it. You're a really cool, big stud. Okay, if I say you are an attractive, studly man, will this stop you, and will you call off your goons from... They sure are not thinking about their fellow American. You know, I'm gonna say the thing that a lot of us are feeling, that Biden made a comment. He has no intent on interfering with this, where he can enact the Taft-Hartley or whatever that thing is called and kind of pressure people back to work. I think a lot of us feel they kind of want this. It disrupts a election that is only days away. Not going to affect them.
That Harris and Biden want this to occur. Harris and Biden.
To put it bluntly, I think that the Biden-Harris administration has absolutely no problem in seeing people struggle. Maybe in a way they are suspicious or feel that Trump's going to win, and they feel like, oh, we'll screw over the economy even more, so that when he gets into office, now he has to deal with the consequences of whatever this involved. We have not been self-sufficient under this administration. That is something that Biden did. He undid all of the things regarding energy and oil.
They may not be able to get to the polls
because of the storm?
Because of the damage from the storm and the fact that Biden has not sent in relief effort to help Florida and help North Carolina.
They're not thinking about their neighbor that they go to church with, or their neighbor that they see when they go to pick up their kids from school. Good evening, all. I just got out of work and I'm going on another one of my evening news strolls with Nicole. So welcome to the evening news stroll. I'm getting more disgusted and I'm getting more concerned as it is now getting into crunch time of the Longshoremen strike that they are saying is going to happen, and I believe them. I have no reason not to believe them. They sure are not thinking about their fellow American. I understand that there's things that they would like to see be corrected or improved with their job. We all would in life. A lot of Americans want better hours or a different situation or an improvement here or there, but that doesn't mean that you screw your fellow American over. Most people have some sort of work ethic even in their normal day-to-day jobs, that they say to themselves, hey, I'm going to show up to work because I don't want to hurt or cause disturbance to my fellow coworker, my fellow American. And this clearly is not the way that they think. They're not thinking about their neighbors. They're not thinking about their neighbor that they go to church with, or their neighbor that they see when they go to pick up their kids from school, their neighbor in their book club. They're not thinking about anyone. They're not thinking about anyone but themselves. You know, there's going to be some of you that'll come in the comments, and I've seen those comments where it's like they want them to get what, you know, these improvements. And I get that, but, you know, we all want things in life, but you don't do things to hurt your fellow American. You don't do things to hurt the country. In the bigger picture, besides getting off the subject of them, because I think that also besides the better wages and the things that they want, I think they also kind of want their 2 seconds of fame. And the truth is that, you know, it's also an ego boost for them to do this. I've helped your ego. You're a studly man, and when you went, we will cripple you, I'm like, oh my God, that's really scary. And see, I helped you. See, I gave you an ego. You're a very cool, studly man. All humor aside, what you're doing and telling your goons to do, of doing a strike, port strike, is a very big deal. By the way, this is Dad, so you don't think this is like a random stranger. Like, hello. Okay. Is a very big deal. I acknowledge that. Do I need to wipe the lens a little bit more, maybe? Hold on, I'm gonna wipe you guys, okay? Don't go anywhere. Hold on. There's some humidity out here. I think that's better. Trying to put some humor on the situation, but you know, obviously what you're saying is very serious, because if you tell people not to go to work, then you hurt the country. You harm the country. We need our supply. We have not been self-sufficient under this administration. That is something that Biden did. He undid all of the things regarding energy and oil, gave our oil away, made us very, very dependent on other countries, where if a country goes like this, I'm cutting you off, he can really have a huge effect on us. Our administration is a lot to blame with this. Again, our Democratic voters, especially the youth, who are like, they probably don't understand anything that's going on right now. They're just like, yeah, I'm gonna vote for Harris because like she's a girl. The administration did this in a lot of ways. They are also, the Longshoremen dudes, fed up with the economy and the situation in the country. So this is kind of like their way of reacting to things. You know, they're tired of the economy and they're reacting in their own way. You know, we got to this point through a dominoed effect of situations. We're not energy efficient. We're not energy independent. You know, when I was an INR major in college, one of the theories the professors made us do was to go over was NLI, neoliberal institutionalism. And we learned these different theories about interdependence and different things like that, and how if we all sing Kumbaya, we're all interdependent, things will go very well in the world. And I was always that person in the class that was like, if country A and B agree, then there's country C that's like, screw that. What happens? And the teacher would always look at me like this, like, why do you have to be such a troublemaker? And it's like, because I'm a realist. I'm a realist. Again, I feel that the Biden-Harris administration got us to this point. We're not energy independent. We were. And they did a lot of this to us, and the economy being so bad got us here. That's one of the reasons they are, the longshoremen, reacting so hostile, because it's kind of like everyone's fed up. So this is the way they are reacting. It doesn't make it right. And again, I don't think that they're thinking about their fellow man in this situation. And again, the Democratic voters, especially the youth, they're like, she's a woman. She's a woman. And also, to the point of that, where is she in all this? Biden is not in the running anymore. Where is Harris? Harris is like, I want to run the country and all. Okay, you know, you want to run the country. A lot of people are very worried, and you're not addressing the country, and you are currently the vice president. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you in consoling the nation right now?
They showed her that today, or the other day, she went into a restaurant to shake hands with future voters.
Because she's a woman.
And they clapped.
She doesn't need to talk to you about the economy. She's a woman.
They asked her, what about the people that are suffering in North Carolina and Georgia?
Oh, that's another thing. That, you know, I'm going to say the thing that a lot of us are feeling, that Biden made a comment. He has no intent on interfering with this, where he can enact the Taft-Hartley or whatever that thing is called and kind of pressure people back to work. And I think a lot of us feel they kind of want this.
Yeah, they want.
It disrupts an election that is only days away. If something happened where they went on strike for weeks, and they could probably like declare martial law, right? I don't know.
They could localize
They could localize martial law. Then certain areas there's like shortages or something. I don't know exactly what they can do.
Don't forget the people.
And also the hurricane has affected a lot of, I'm seeing things online where like roads are completely like in half and people can't get out, and like people are like asking the administration for help.
And the administration's not responding.
They're not responding, and we have a lot of conservative voters in some of these states, and it's like,
this is their intent.
I mean,
Harris and Biden.
To put it bluntly, I think that the Biden-Harris administration has absolutely no problem in seeing people struggle, in seeing there be shortages, in seeing your fellow man, your fellow American be affected, because it's all about winning. That's quite a running party. They care about themselves instead of America. They do not care about how people are being affected. And quite frankly, with the agenda of socialism, with this idea of like I've talked about before, like everyone is struggling, then you have the elite and everyone looks up at the tower And the tower's doing really good because they make sure somehow they have the things they need. And we're all looking up at the tower. Well, that kind of sounds like this would help their agenda. If you have everyone in society and we're all struggling now because it's not like our economy is doing well right now, okay? And this can have an effect in itself. And then maybe in a way they are suspicious or feel that Trump's going to win. And they feel like, oh, we'll screw over the economy even more. As much we can. So that when he gets into office, now he has to deal with the consequences of whatever this involved. But I'm sure the Democratic voters will find a way to say that this is Trump's fault too. So I'm frustrated. The other thing I want to mention is that I don't have anyone to communicate with here in Dade County. On the night of Trump's first assassination attempt, I was in the food court of the mall and the news was on. I had gotten out of work, and Miami is a very large international community, but no one knew what was going on. No one cared. And the irony was that the news programming was actually from Spanish television that was covering the story. No one looked up. No one cared. There's just a complete lack of anyone to communicate with here in Dade County. It's very, very difficult to find anyone that cares.
And they didn't care today in the food court.
You don't care in the food court. This has a lot of consequences. Again, I don't feel that your average Democratic voter has the ability to, or especially the youth ones, to understand the implications of this. A lot of people depend on, the retail seasons, the holiday seasons that we're going into, and this can have a lot of consequences for people and their jobs.
They could lose their jobs?
Yeah.
There'll be no holiday season?
A lot of people are worried. I'm worried.
The inflation will go absolutely...
Our inflation is really bad as it is.
It's going to go nuts?
I'm not going to do like panic shopping or things like that. Some of you have mentioned, like, are you prepared? It's like, not really. Not really.
We have gas.
We went and got gas today, and I hope they don't do this because, making fun of them or calling them jerks or whatever is not going to help the situation. These are longshoremen that they're proud of themselves, and they sound like narcissists. And if you've ever talked about narcissism, you know that you're not going to reach them. They see something, they feel something, they think something, and you're not going to affect them.
I believe that Harris and Biden want this to occur. They want people
it
to
sure
suffer.
seems that if you're coming out and you're making a comment, that he's not going to intervene, and he's not even saying anything to the nation.
As crazy as it sounds.
He basically made a comment like, I believe in like them negotiating and figuring things out. A lot of people feel that way. I think. Well, the other thing Harris is doing is I think that Harris is playing into a voter mindset of there are people out there that are unstable, and there are voters out there that are unstable who are struggling with their mental health. And I think that she's preying upon some of these voters who are not happy with the country, not happy with America, not happy with their own situation.
You want a drink?
And in some warped way, she's kind of like a cult.
Here's a drink.
And she's appealing to them.
Take your official drink on camera.
I hope they don't do this.
Also, this thing of the port strike, it's going to interfere with a lot of Republican voters voting, because the panhandle of Florida and these areas of North Carolina, they were Republican, and they may not be able to get to the polls.
Because of the storm?
Because of the damage from the storm and the fact that Biden has not sent in relief effort to help Florida and help North Carolina. And he wants them to crumble.
A lot of people feel that way. I hope they don't do this. They want what they want, the longshoremen dudes, and I guess I have to be inclusive. The longshoremen, are they allowed to be women?
There are, but I think with their union people, they've kept it pretty much a in-family.
You guys can educate me on this. I'm really not educated on. Are the longshoremen, are there women too? I don't know. I'm not really looking for a job as a longshoreman. I'm just curious.
That you're not going to get a job as a longshoreman if your family members have not been involved in it in years.
It sounds like a really nifty thing, and like a lot of cool dudes that stand around and all go like this, "We will cripple you!"
But
honestly, those dudes, you guys need to like move to Sunny Isles, okay? You can like sit with other old dudes at Starbucks and you can like play dominoes, okay? and then you could all sit with each other and yell at each other, because a lot of them like yell at each other. And you could be like, "I cripple you," okay, okay. So that there.
I just saw,
And then you, yeah.
I just saw on Twitter a tweet where Putin talked about Trump winning the presidency.
We hope that
And
happens.
negotiating an end to the Russian-Ukraine
That would be good.
conflict. And he says, I welcome it.
Good. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you all, and thank you to reaching out to me. A lot of you are messaging me and talking to me about things that are happening, and thank you so much. I really appreciate you all, and I will see you again soon in my next video, and bye!